Hey, Northwest. Northwest, how are you? Nice to see you guys this morning. Appreciate you all being here. I'm gonna piggyback on what we talked about last night, but I don't want to get too deep in the weeds. Thorny subject. Of course, you know what I'm talking about, right? Sitchy, you left me and you never told me why things are horrible. Stitch, my friend, I just want to say I love you early in the morning. It's a good way to start the day. It's a good way to start the day telling someone that you love them as well. It's a good way to start the day to just hear it from someone. Give me 1 second. I'm doing my best to put my shoes on. Let's see. Give me a second so I can read what's going on here in the chat.
In 1 week.
Let's see. We have Sissy. Hey, Sissy. Our friend Northwest. Cat says first but not last. First but not last. Lee is here. My cat is here. Hey. Everyone wants to hear you. Stitch, how are you? Hi, Anna. Lee, how are you? Stitch says I'm sick and I'm not fun. And it's not fun. No, it's autumn is it? I'm sorry, Stitch. One more shoe to go. There is a hole developing. There's, these little traction holes. I don't know if these little things make a difference, but this one is almost gone. Almost put my finger through, which means I'm actually tempted to go ahead and try to put my finger through. Northwest says, that's not good. 6 sucks. Yogi Booger. We're off to a booger start of the day. All right, 1 second. There we go. Hey, Lee. Oops. Give me 1 second, guys. Need to take care of something very quickly. I haven't forgotten about you guys. Hey, Miss Flipper. Hey, Northwest. Little gift coming your way. Just to let you know. All right, I'm back in it. Stitch says booger. Stitch says an excellent point. I'd like to hear more. I want to subscribe to your newsletter. You're welcome, my friend. So again, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds. Miss Flipper, I'm glad you're here. I'm always glad you're here. We had a pretty deep, somewhat intense talk. Hey, JF, love you too, my friend. Booger brain. Um, yeah, pretty intense talk on the ego, what it is, what it isn't. This is what I wrote this morning. I just want to read it. Let's not make a grand battle out of this. We're not setting forth to annihilate the ego, to slay the beast that brings us so much suffering in life. This is a gentle approach of recognition. It's just seeing through the illusion of separation and letting go of a false sense of who we believe we are. In truth, we're not really doing anything. Our practice of forgiveness reveals to us the ego's world of anger, fear, blame, and from here we simply choose to see a different world based entirely on our thoughts of love. There's no sense of battling an illusion. There's no sense battling an illusion. We just forgive and see a different world. I'm going to read a little definition from Eckhart Tolle, which is Eckhart Tolle has studied A Course in Miracles, as well as coming to his own sense of self-realization. Anyway, for him, he says ego is a mental construct. The same thing A Course in Miracles says, the same thing Buddhism says. Yoga has a little different view. It's conditioned by the past, it identifies with form, it's driven by fear and lack, it needs boundaries and comparison, and it can lead to suffering only because of our identification with it. That's it, our identification with it. It's a misidentification. It's attached to external things. That's the thing I was hoping to get covered with a friend, one of our friends from last night. It's okay to want what you want, but it's when that we are attached to these external things and think that they're going to bring about an internal change that it leads to suffering. If you like your new haircut, if you like fancy clothes, if you like having a fancy car, all of that's okay, unless we are attached to it and we think it's going to bring any lasting change internally to the conflict that we suffer from. Stitch is laughing. Actually, I have not said booger yet today. I've read booger, but I have not said booger. I'm going to stick with my definition. Hey, RW. So Northwest, I was just hoping that maybe it could help a little bit with breakfast for you and your loved one. Miss Pacific says, okay, we are not our egos. There you go. End of discussion. Miss Pippa says, when you said internally, I heard eternally. Well, our problem is of internal projection. I can't rightly say eternal because it doesn't actually exist in time, right? Or it exists in the illusion of time. But once we see through the ego, then it no longer exists. Within eternity, we could say the only eternal is God. Everything else is an illusion. So all of our issues is one of an internal issue. We're looking at the outer world. If I get a new car, if I get a new job, if I get a new house, if I get a new girlfriend, if I get a this, I get a that, then all my problems are going to be fixed. Of course, that puts us in a perpetual search for something better. So my new haircut didn't get me this promotion, but maybe my next haircut will. My new car didn't get me this relationship, but maybe my next new car, a shinier one, a faster one, will. All the way down to our spiritual approach. Well, I didn't awaken. Ultimately, I'm still in the illusion of suffering, so I need a new spiritual path. I need to, if I only had this truth. if I only get this super advanced breath work, if I only have one more theory of everything. Seeking is a perpetual delay of the inevitable of awakening. Hey, Nino. Thanks for coming in, Nino. Gotta wait until 5 till store opens, though. All right, well, I'm glad, though, that it'll be there for you. So you'll be able to get a little bit of breakfast. Stitch says, Yogi, your hair is beautiful today. That's all I've ever wanted to hear, Stitch. Thank you so much. He said, that's why I mentioned self-consciousness yesterday, Yogi. If you believe they are externally ugly and hide under a jacket, for idea, I like your perception of that yesterday. So the great thing is, I know, Lee, that you feel like that battling your ego is a daily occupation. So we just relax. Miss Whipper says the ego would say that eternal doesn't exist. Agreed. It would put conditions within the eternal. It would put a time frame in the eternal. And it says seeking is a perpetual delay and awakening. Kat says, nice, Anna. Sorry. Stitch says I have beautiful hair today, so I'm just brushing it back. Hey, if the external world is an illusion, then I can imagine myself with hair right now. Or the collective consciousness, Miss Blipper. Sissy says, I believe my confidence has been minced and misinterpreted. How so, Sissy? I'd be interested to hear that. I really want to have an Eckhart Tolle conversation with you. Miss Pippa says ego wants us to die, but not itself. Ego is cuckoos, diabolical, but nuts. The reason why I always ask Miss Flipper, where, Miss Flipper is a longtime student of A Course in Miracles, which reminds me, can you reach into the fishbowl? But she has the best language. So I always like hearing her. She also has a very, every student, every teacher of A Course in Miracles, they have their own lens of which they offer things. Miss Flipper has a very unique perspective on the same things that I see, and she offers a very unique and colorful perspective that really helps a lot of people see things a bit differently. Kat says, again, I say I would love to hear Miss Flipper talk about this with you, Yogi. Whenever Miss Flipper wants. Miss Flipper, what are you doing today at 1 o'clock? Hey, Lucy. Speaking of Lucy, Lucy is going live Thursday morning for a big, long session, and then she's going to come up and she's going to pull some tarot cards. Just checking the mustache. Sometimes it decides to go off in strange and wondrous directions completely on its own. And I'm really sorry that Talk to Text cannot say Miss Flipper. It just did. Miss Flipper says, hello, Lisa's World. I'm heading to Fishbowl. Be right back. Sissy says, you keep saying that, but I have so much more to learn from Eckhart and his publishing. You have inspired me to work on one thing and becoming expert. The one thing is a new earth. I believe that's what you were in the process of revealing, Sissy. I think you are an essential part of the solution, and I love listening to you. That's what I think you're revealing. A unique path towards that revelation of a new earth that only you can bring. I feel like I'm being invited whenever I listen to you, and I thank you for that. Hey, Rebecca. How are you? Good morning, Yogi. And oh, thanks for the love. Checking the time. So the thing is, even if you feel you have a lot to learn from Eckhart Tolle, me too, always. I pulled out the New Earth. I just felt like diving back in. Not going to reread it, but I do want to just read through it again. Um, Again, he was so deeply influenced by A Course in Miracles, as well as Meister Eckhart, obviously, and other Buddhism, yoga. Fishbowl, rest upon your willingness to let all littleness go. So we could, perfect, because we could define the ego as littleness, thinking that it's grand. Anna says, I'm so grateful and thankful to be alive, to be here now. Me too, my friend. And I'm extremely thankful that you guys are here with me. Becca started her blackberry crumble. You started baking it or you started eating it? Kat says, me too, Anna. I feel honored to be here at this time. Lee says, oh, super, and such a comfort dessert, and it's approaching autumn now. Kids will be back in school soon. Hey, Lee, last year at this time, didn't you and I have a long talk about pumpkin pies? And have you had a pumpkin pie yet? I'm not talking about a slice of pumpkin pie. You got to have the whole damn pie. If Josh Jetta was here, that would be a quote that he would cut out. You got to have the whole damn pie. Lacey says, good morning, sissy. I know there are some here who don't like pumpkin pie. It makes me wonder, why are you here? Why are you here with me right now? Miss Pippa says, all letters within my name. Earth, Ether. Becca says, we've never had a pumpkin pie. We need to fix that. My last channel name was Ether's Essence Sniper. No joke, but I took a 1-year break from YouTube and social media. Returned as Soul Stars of the Violet Flame. I love that name. And reduced to what it is now. Becca says, I'd love to try one. Well, come on over. We'll go out and get some pumpkin pie together. My pumpkin pie is vegan. I don't think, since you've never had pumpkin pie, you won't be able to tell the difference. Sip says, yes, we did. Love to visit the U.S. and try to get one. I've never had pumpkin soup. Is that a thing? It is a thing. It's not very common, though. I've never had it either. You ever had peanut stew? It's a African dish, traditional African dish. Becca says, I've had pumpkin soup. It's very nice. It doesn't seem like it'd be a soup type of material. Sissy says, I do like squash and peanut soup. I had a friend make me peanut soup a long time ago. When I first became vegan, she thought it would be a nice little gift to bring me, and it was. Namaskar, my friend. Boiled peanuts are amazeballs. Especially at a baseball game. It's been a long time since I've had them. Tried once in a vegetarian restaurant. Anna says, good morning to Maharashtrian. Good morning, Maharashtrian. So Eckhart Tolle has it's pretty much in alignment with A Course in Miracles, their view. Here's what Eckhart Tolle offers in dissolving the ego. Simply become aware. Be aware of it. Observing the thoughts, non-identification with it, living in the present moment. All of our spiritual practices from meditation to forgiveness help us to see through the illusory appearance of an ego. You don't need to battle it. You don't need to battle it. As soon as you become aware of it, it begins to shift. Your identification with it begins to change. When you see at the level of quantum events, there's really no separation between particles appearing as atoms appearing as this desk versus the appearance of particles appearing as atoms to my body, right? And yet, I am aware of a desk. I am aware of a body. In awareness itself, we see separation of events. The reality is all one thing, but it's the same with when we see the ego. Now we're the observer of the ego and not the ego itself. It's all you have to do. Meditation helps us become more aware. Forgiveness, we become very aware in the moment because the ego will jump up and say, do not forgive this person. Do not forgive this event. Do not forgive this. Do not forgive that. Or what's in it for me if I do forgive? Have you earned it? Do you deserve it? What do I get in return? As soon as we see all of that, we smile and we just know the ego making its demands. The ego is always demanding recognition. We don't need to do anything now. We just observe. Forgiveness comes in that observation. It breaks my heart a little bit when we talk about it and people get upset. They're spending all this time battling and fighting the ego, or they believe if I let it go, as if one, it's that easy. If you could simply say, oh, ego, I'm done with you. Would be nice, wouldn't it? Or they think they're going to lose something. How do you lose something that isn't real? Amazeballs, such a great word. Balls, said the queen. If I had to, I'd be a king. At first, I thought you were going to go with Alice in Wonderland, but I do not believe that Alice had ever said, or the queen ever said such a thing. Miss Blipper, what did you say about coming up and hanging out with me? I am making my way back up. Lucy says not really into much pie. Pumpkin pie, however, is decent. Maharashtrian says, my name is Ronnie. Beautiful name. Never been to a baseball game. Well, come on down. We'll hang out. We'll go to a minor league game. I've never been to a hockey game. Actually, I'm not certain that shifting is ours to do, as if we can discern. I agree. But, you know, as we've talked about before, got to use language. It's a bit of a blunt tool, but squinting my eyes and pointing my forehead at you doesn't seem to get the point across. Kat says, hey, Yogi, in that poem, Did you say something about flying by the window? Or did you just remember it incorrectly? You do remember windows. Let's see. Trying to remember what page it was on. Sorry, guys. It's talking about the open window of the soul. I'll read it one more time. As a sigh sweeps past the open windows of my soul, a glimpse of life forever fleeting swept past to stormy skies. Seas. Let me start over again. As a sigh sweeps past the open window of this soul, a glimpse of life forever fleeting swept past to stormy seas unknown. And you and I have always been a moment shared upon the edge of time, for I have loved you 1,000 lifetimes, each one a blessing I adore. That's from my book, 1,000 Sighs. No, Sebastian says, thank you so much, Stella. Ouch. Miss Ripper says, relinquishing judgment is key. Yep. Even that makes it sound like we are doing something, like we are the one relinquishing. That was the point I was trying to get across. We don't let go of the ego because it is the ego that wants to let go of the ego, which really does not want any such thing. But it gives it a job, gives it a task. If we just, as Anna said, observation, if we just observe, everything changes through awareness. The entire process of yoga is one of awareness, bringing attention, open-hearted awareness to this, to this, to this, to this, and everything begins to change. It is an effortless process that takes a little bit of effort. Do I keep missing Miss Blipper's comment on time of her and I maybe hanging out? I gotta go in a minute or two. Kat says, oh, I was just thinking about flying by your window on my broom. All right, I'm going to be on the lookout. We are in the official hours of Brahma Muhurta, which is the hours of God. It's a fluid time existing about an hour and a half before first light and about an hour after first light. This is what Rumi said, that the veil between two worlds, the door is open and wide. Do not go back to sleep. So this is when we put our intentions. This is when we manifest. This is when we sculpt the world of our dreams. So if I look out the window and I wait patiently, I have no doubt that I can see Cat flying by. And it says everything changes through awareness. It says, thank you so much, Yogi. Thank you. Tiger King says, do you make up your channel or do same thing, Eric? What do you mean, Tiger King? And welcome, by the way. Kat says, don't go back to sleep. I heard that. But you got to go back to sleep, right? Wait until that first hint of light. Or actually go ahead and lay back down, but lay back down with the awareness that this is a time to enter that intent into the ethers, into the field of intention, and let it go and then surrender to sleep. I still don't quite understand, Tiger King. Make it up, do different things, or it's the same every time. I don't know. I don't really do anything. I just show up. All right, I'm scrolling forward. Miss Flipper, was that a yes or a no? I'm going to be on the lookout this time for your answer. I apologize. Yogi, do you know anything about dreams and celestial travel? A little bit. I've studied lucid dreaming and astral projection um, a long time ago, as well as Tibetan dream yoga. I've studied Buddhist and Sufi dream interpretation. I am by no means an expert, or even I have passable knowledge of my own reading and what's been covered in some yoga certification classes. Um, I don't have a great interest in most of that any longer. Sort of simplified things. I'd just rather be at peace. I'd rather be happy. None of that has ever led to any great sense of peace or any great sense of happiness. Just gives me one more thing to chase after. If I get this one great lucid dream, if I can astrally project to a point of gathering more knowledge, knowledge has never brought me happiness. Knowledge has never ever brought me peace. The relinquishment of pronouncing words correctly has brought me a great deal of peace. The relinquishment of having to have that sense of knowledge that I can present it. I'm a man of knowledge. I know this, I know that. Relinquishing that brings me a great deal of peace. Just being, just sitting and just loving, being kind. My life has been reduced in the best possible way of simply being kind. I've looked at all stuff dreams for 60 years. Semper says, you schedule, Eric. Do you write a script or wing it every morning? I wing it every morning. I largely wing everything in my life. I've mentioned before the dichotomy, the seeming paradox of doing what seems to be the same day every day, and also how every time I do it, it seems completely different, spontaneous, as if I've never done this before. And the truth is, I have never done this before, because we only have what's fresh and new each and every moment. Kat says, but it sounds like you can use these things to live a happier dream. Knowing they're part of the illusion, yes or no? Check a box, please. Check, yes. Yes. However, for me, they're just not the tools that I want to use a happier life. For someone else, they might be. As long as you know that it's still part of the dream. As long as you think that it is the ultimate awakening tool. For me, when I chased it, it was thinking it was going to bring me that awakening, that it was going to bring me something. But to create a happier dream, whatever works for you to create a happier dream is awesome. But don't think it's going to awake you from the dream. To awaken from the dream, all you have to do is open your eyes and go, oh, it's just a dream. In the end, do you need any special dreams to wake up from a night's sleep? When you're having a dream, do you have to say, okay, now it's time for me to squint my eyes and tighten my fist and huff and puff, and I will wake up from the dream? Or all of a sudden, do you find yourself awake, here, now? It's as simple as that, but not quite that easy. So you wing it when you talk about God, then? I wing everything. with a lot of help from you guys. Yesterday's entire conversation about boogers came from Kat and Jack, and it took off from there. I had nothing to do with it. She would point the finger otherwise, but she's got to admit, in the conversation we had last night, I was not the one who brought up boogers. The conversation here on YouTube. Miss Ripper says, wing and a prayer. Becca says, I don't know how. I travel, it just happens. Apparently, I have been searching for someone. I usually find kittens and cats. Maybe you are searching for the kittens and cats. That's a pretty awesome thing to find. Lisa says, nightmares have woke me up. Yep. The tolerance of pain is high, but it's not without limits. See, you jump on my message. No one else's sniper. Tiger King. Life is so much better when we quit feeling persecuted. Kat says, sometimes I just want to have fun while I'm here. Nothing the matter with having fun. You can have fun all the time. But what's more fun? Something that you know is ultimately going to lead to hurt when it ends, or knowing that within the confines of a dream, everything is temporary. When anything is done with awareness, everything becomes infinitely more fun. All right, I got to go in just a minute. Kat says, wait a minute. It came from a conversation you were having with Kat and Jack. You're the one who actually said burgers will bring people. It certainly engaged people, didn't it? But where did it start? In the actual conversation. You envision the word boogers bringing in 7,000 people. So we're at 13 people right now. We need 887 more people to come for my dream to be fulfilled. See ya, Lucy. I would just relax, Tiger King. I would just relax. You and Jenny, it's okay. I can guarantee you that Sniper has never started, has never come into a live stream here thinking, today I'm going to get him. Today's the day I'm going to get Tiger King. I've been waiting for this moment for ages. It's all okay, Tiger King. It's all okay. Simpa says, Tiger King, Eric didn't understand you initially, so we all helped. We all helped you. They certainly did, Tiger King. Thank you, Sissy. I'm going to bring you up right now. That's what I mean about relaxing. Just because you have a story doesn't mean it's the story. Just means it's a story. Yep, I am a little late for my walk. Hey, Shirley. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Love you guys. I will see everyone later. I might do a 8:30-ish live stream. I might do a breathwork class. Man, I love those hedgehogs, Becca. I still have missed Tiger King's people don't have to get in. No, see, that's the thing, Tiger King. No one is getting on you. Not a single person is getting on you. Not a single person here is getting on you. Zero. None. If you could just see that, you'd have so much more fun here. You'd relax and you could participate without feeling like anyone is out to get you. I promise you, Sniper is not out to get you. I promise you. Kat says, what do they relax? Relax your ego. Yes, relax. That's what breath work is all about. Roka says, thank you so much. Yogi, much love to all. Much love to you, my friend. Kat says, surely he's on a roll. Why do I want to say we're on a roll? We're on a roll. Hey. All right. See, that's a story that you're telling about Sniper. He does not want to do that. He does not want to do that. Kat says, it's okay, I'm being totally selfish. Kat, you've never been selfish a day in your life. Hey, Johnny Cash. Sissy says, because Selma is the best influencer. She is. You're right about that. Kat says, workout. I will definitely do a workout, but not online, because today's just an easy day. I will, however, I think breath work of some kind. It's the way it come across to me. Please read comments, not what I mean. But just because you think it comes across that way doesn't mean it actually is. We talk about this every time. Imagine if you didn't make the conversation about this, right? Imagine if you didn't mention Sniper once in an entire conversation with us, what would happen? So I am going to say at 1 o'clock, when I have the 1 o'clock live stream, I'm going to have an open link. If someone who has been a longtime student of A Course in Miracles, who happens to live in Rome, would like to come up and have a conversation about the ego with me, I would absolutely love that. Because I think I just kept missing her answer. Johnny Cash says, I don't sleep sometimes, and some I do. When I sleep, I always get deep sleeps. Glad to hear it. Kat says, Tiger, that's your perception. No one else has that perception. This is true. All right, I'm definitely late for my walk. Kat says, I love you so much, Yogi. I love you too, Kat. Thanks for sweeping by that open window, Kat. I'm so glad I left the window open. Miss Pippa says, yes. Awesome. Awesome. But the thing is, Sniper can't really ignore people. Because I gotta tell you how honored I am. Sniper is a mod for some huge channels. Really big channels. I'm not even a blip on the map of YouTube compared to these guys. And yet, out of sheer love, out of just being Sniper, he shows up on my little tiny chat and is very protective. Me and everyone's here, including you, Tiger King, including you. So he wouldn't want to ignore you. What if someone came in and was abusive to you and I missed it? Sniper would be there and he'd have your back in an instant. Yep, I will see you at Sissy's premiere as long as I get out and take my walk now. I'm going to go. I love you guys. I will see you. If you're a member, I'll see you at about 8:30. We're going to do probably a breathwork class. Maybe talk about the beginning path of yoga. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Love you guys. Rebecca, no apologies necessary. We just love having you here. All right. Love you guys. Take care.